Hey everyone, welcome. Hi, I am reading the chat. Good to see all of you. Hi, Blue. So, Blue comments in case we set up procedures for alternate meeting options if a server breaks. I think sooner or later, all AVC should look into that. Definitely. Thank you so much uh for these, Blue. Yes, totally agree on this. We're going to start today. It's our 21st AVC Subcommittee meeting, and this is about accessibility scope. So, welcome. I see Bonapublica, Jack, PB, Elisa Pancake, Marian, Nix. Okay, so thank you for your time, and we're going to start. Well, as always, I see there many of you already are aware of this, but to the people that are starting, this is the first time in this call. Also, we are broadcasting this meeting, so if there's any new people involved in this call, we're going to share our notion with all our documents, with our information. So here it is. And to the people who always come, thank you so much for being here. We're going to discuss different topics. We're going to discuss our proposals. We're going to discuss our ADs proposals. So this is really good that you are here and participate actively in commenting, asking questions. So yes. Well, as always, this meeting has been organized and prepared by the two members of the Sovereign Finance AVC, SID LATAM and OX Root. Okay, so these are the topics that we'll be commenting on. This includes blues and clockits, proposals about accessibility scope. Also, some of our proposals that are a work in progress, and we really need the feedback on what we are thinking of doing. And so that's what we're going to discuss. Prior to this, as well as you can see in previous like a few days ago, it was posted modifications on different scopes like governance, support, stability, and that of course includes accessibility scope. So we're going to also point out the modifications, that everything that has been added. So these also as well, and also in the forum it was posted a few days ago about the MakerDAO resolution. And so we have to discuss this. And about the deliverables for launch project and knowledge preservation, also about this. If we have time, we're going to review the most relevant about the rules of speech on the subDAOs on this recent event that was the Token 2049 Singapore. That this was, if I'm not mistaken, it was like a month ago. Also, there was a very recently podcast that was shared, I think yesterday or 2 days, So yeah, the most relevant on those two. But we're going to start with the comments from our 80s. Oh, and here we, as you all might be aware, well, there was this about the 80s, the recognitions about Navigator and Palk. That's why we only have our two proposals from Clocky and Blue. And well, we would like to also say thank you to our to them, because for all of their work, the proposals they made. So yes, if anyone is asking why there we also only have the Blue and Clocky's proposal that we're going to discuss on. Okay, so as I mentioned, before adding or start talking about our 80s and our proposals, we're going to focus on the modifications made by Rune. There were some things that were added in the scope. The first thing, it's about the section 1.1.2.4. So if you see in the scope, there it says there is a template. There is no template. So he has added this template about the accessibility advisory council recognition and the questions or the topics that might be filled out if you want to be one of these roles. So these questions are designed to gather information from applicants who, of course, wish to be considered for this role. And I don't know if anyone has comments on this specific template that, well, to our understanding, this aims to collect information about the applicant's background, about the skills, experiences, about the services. They also seek to understand how the applicant's skill and contributions will enhance the selected accessibility scope. And then of course, the questions address practical aspects such as payment details, emergency availability, which is also important. Of course, demonstrating that the council members are expected to actively participate and support the maker ecosystem in different capacities. Something else to add in here, during Friday's call, there was this something that Rune mentioned about the name, about the term advisory council. It was not the most acquired term, and it should be scope advisor. So I don't know if this is going to be the official term, was how he was referring to the new role. There were also some issues about advisory council because it was AC, and in the Atlas there was always like ADs and ACs and AVCs, and AC is not just stands for advisory council but alignment conserver. So there were this kind of like confusion. For many people, AC stands for only advisory, or well, mistaken for advisory council, alignment conserver, and so that includes me as well. So what do you think about the term scope scope council? Is it, well, not scope council, it's scope advisors? Is it a better term for this specific role? Let's go to the Bueno Pública, is that on your edit? Yes, I'm going to send the link. This is the link for all these edits. There it is, Bona Publica. It doesn't point out what are the changes. So if there is something that has been modified and we are not mentioning it, please also point it out. So this is the first one. That's true. Bonapulica says, I was also confused about the MIPS portal has not been updated by the facilitators. Yes, and this was addressed during the forum as well by Pedro, who is here. So there was a bit of a discussion, like questions and answers from them. I don't know, Pedro, if you would like to add something about it, but they gave an answer about why it hasn't been modified yet. Aki says, I recall including this in the MIP 102 that I've submitted. Yes, that's what I was going to mention. This is, I didn't want it to, I'm not 100% sure, but yes, this definitely looks at as the one that, yes, that includes a lot of our proposals. So yes. Yeah, this is gonna be in vote. So this is the first. Let's go to the next one. Okay, something else that has been added that it's not included in this scope, but the modifications that I just sent the link. It's about the section 1.1.3, which is the Accessibility Advisory Council projects and funding. So it says the Advisory Council is paid on a project basis to do specific work that improves all or specific parts of the scope framework. Again, I think this is general. It should be more specific. It should be more details. I think that this particular scope, accessibility scope, and this is an issue that we has been addressing. I mean, not just in this meeting, but in previous accessibility scope subcommittee meetings, is the lack of information and the lack of transparency. And that's why it's kind of more difficult to make proposals since there are not enough information. And I know that for different AVCs and for ADs as well, this is a big issue. So this has been added as well. And then on the section number 3, it was added this paragraph on the accessibility reward. The accessibility reward, it's a payment that sub-DAOs and ecosystem actors can receive if they comply with the accessibility brand guidelines and either hold new stable directly or provide users access to new stable or smart contracts that hold new stable. There is no distinction between new stable that is or isn't RSR or sub-DAO tokens. So I don't know if anyone has comment on this. Of course, for this, I think the good side of this is that we can add more information based on this, of course, to be more precise, to have more clarification, to have less ambiguity. So yeah, we're working on this specific section that has been just added, if this goes approved, of course. Okay, and then there is about the launch project. So I think everyone can agree that, again, there's not enough information. It lacks transparency. But this was something that has been added, which is the launch project may also deal with various initiatives related to regulatory outreach or legal resilience efforts in the ecosystem. The launch project must fund security and other critical infrastructure needs for the ecosystem to the extent necessary during the bootstrapping phase. The launch project must explore options to help bootstrap the purpose system and can request governance votes to allocate MKR from the policy proxy as grants or donations to relevant causes. Such payments must be approved through an MKR vote, and if they occur, are separate from and in addition to the launch project budget. Okay, so these are, I would like to know if from the proposals of the R80s, which is Clocky and Blue, that they have also proposals on this. Was this prior to the modifications or the adding of this specific part? Or now we're going to, since we have this. So I don't know if anyone has any comment on what has been, I mean, the edits. If not, we're going to move on to we're going to start with Blue's comments about the scope, those proposals. So I'm going to share what he's been working on and what, to my understanding, it's still a work in progress. Okay, so this is it on the chat. So in the slide, you're going to see like this is from the Notion that I'm just share in the chat, and then this is a quote. So from this reporting framework. So this document that this proposal from Blue, well, outlines different phases of the plan. This includes the completion dates and different metrics to measure progress and success, which is something that, of course, we need more information, right? We need to try this to know what's going on, right? So these metrics include both quantitative and qualitative data that it's related to user engagement, token conversions, community sentiment, and more. And so this proposal focused on tracking the progress and success of what is happening. This includes initiative. This includes, of course, the beta launch project that it's phase number one, and then the introduction of the sub-DAO departments, which is phase number two, the governance AI tools in the Atlas, phase number three, the Sagittarius Lockstone engine, phase number four, and the new chain that will be phase that it's phase number five. So this involves endgame, the whole thing in general. And it also mentions documenting heartless phase during implementation. Again, sharing new initiatives, sharing new plans, providing progress summaries, and outlining upcoming focus areas for each specific phase. Now, to my understanding, this is likely to be an internal community use. Is that right, Blue? I don't know if it's anything that you would like to add in here, or if anyone has questions. How are you? Is this intended to track? And of course, like the goal is to track, to communicate the progress and the performance of Maker. Now, I would like to know I'm going to ask this question to everyone that is here, to all the system actors and everyone that um, is here. That this looks helpful to you, like this is going to help, and most importantly, that this looks viable. So this is Lou's proposal I have here. The text on the previous slide appears to be an expansion of the launchpad scope, which could be potentially strained viable. Oh, let's go back to this one. Yes, this is I think I can link this part to all of you. So this is going to be vote to if this is going to be on the scope or not. So this is the modification. I don't know if you want me to send you the direct link to this. Just give me 1 second. Okay. This is the one. I think I sent it the wrong previous link. So yeah. Okay, it took me a minute to find it, but this is it. And if you go to the last part, which is the launch project, you're going to see that this is added there. But how do you find this? Is this helpful, what everyone wants to know more about what it I mean, what has been happening with the launch project, with the budget, what are they doing? We're going to work on this. The sovereign finance is going to work on this specific part. Um, okay. Well, please, if you have any other comments, especially on this, please put it on the chat. I'm going to read it once. Or if you have questions, please also put it there. Okay. Now, let's go to Clarky's comment. Okay. Okay, I'm quoting here Clocky, and I think I mentioned this also some minutes ago about this is a scope that because there's no enough information, there's not enough transparency, well, it's complicated to make proposals on this. And so what Kaki's comment is the current language in the accessibility scope lacks clarity on whether there will be retroactive transparency regarding the allocation of funds for the launch project once the beta launch concludes. It is imperative to address this ambiguity to provide explicit clarification within this scope. Okay, here, this is the current scope component. You go to accessibility scope and you find this on 9.1, the launch project budget. So it says the budget available for the launch project is specified in 9.1.1b. It is a one-time budget that doesn't renew over time, and payouts from the budget can be triggered by a message in the MakerCon portal specifying the amount to pay out for lump sum payments or DSVS parameters for DSVS payments and the recipient address. The payment is bundled directly into the next weekly executive vote without requiring a governance poll. Every time a payout is done, the remaining budget in 9.1.1b must be reduced to reflect the spent amount. Spending cannot exceed the total budget one-time budget. And so, to this particular part, to this particular section, this is Clocky's proposal to add the following. Upon the completion of the beta launch, accessibility facilitators are required to provide the following details regarding launch projects funds spent on the beta launch: the amount of funds allocated for each objective, the high-level objectives of fund allocation, and the recipients of the funds. First of all, thank you, Clocky, for your proposal. This definitely is going to, because we're being more specific, we're going to have like okay, this is the 9.1 and it's explicitly saying that you need to communicate this. And so it might help. Also, there could be more transparency if we add more details into this. So okay, let me go to the chat. Okay. So this is Clocky's proposal. I don't know if anyone has a feedback on this. We can either again more specific, but this is so far would be added to know more where the funds are going. So this. And another comment from Clocky's public document, he says additional information should be included regarding the accessibility chat, or it should be explicitly stated which individuals will be responsible for adding those specific details. It's important as the accessibility chat will act as a great safe learning space for newcomers. It will allow them to grasp the system's intricacies without being deterred by the tiresome politics and melodrama that often accompany matters of governance. And yes, so in this scope, what we see is that this is intended to be for new beginners, right? For people that are not involved in Maker that much, that are not 25/8 in the forum or on the Discord. And so with this, having this in mind, we have a proposal about this. And something else that Koki mentioned, I'm going to say it before I start with sovereign finance proposal, is that it would be beneficial to provide additional information regarding sub-DAO Frontend Standards, ensuring that they cover aspects such as security, user experience, and necessary features. A valuable point of discussion would be determining the specific elements that should be included in the required features. These two we are working on. So yes, let's go first with this one, which is says which individual will be responsible for adding those specific details. Facilitators, the accessibility facilitators, anybody else that should be in charge of this specific role? Who should be in charge of this? Oh, thank you, Kaki. Yeah, so this we're gonna go with our proposals. This is about the front end that is here. So if you go to the proposal to the scope, accessibility scope, section 7, it's just like a paragraph describing sub-DAO front-end standards, and that's it. There's nothing else. So we are working on this. What should be included? Maybe more, and that's why we're putting it here so we can have more feedback. And again, this particular scope focused on people that are not very involved in Maker, and maybe they don't even want to. So yes, there's involves the accessibility chat. Of course, that is it's tend to be for everyone. You might not know about the latest updates in Maker, and so this would should be important that mention about the welcoming new and experienced users. Again, I feel like this is going to be more for new users. And then educational and technical discussions. The primary purpose of this chat is to facilitate educational discussion, helping users understand the technical details of the Maker ecosystem. We want to avoid everything, all the drama that, of course, governance has a lot of drama, but not not this specific part. But how can we do this? I agree with what Clocky says in here. It says melodrama that often accompany matters of governance. And yes, so in this particular section, how can we try to avoid it? This is going to be something that we need to figure it out. But yes, that's why we put it here, maintaining a friendly environment. Toxic behavior, emotional governance related statements, or debates on governance matters are not allowed in this chat. Now, in here, should be a penalty or not? Manage this part. And then moderation and enforcement. In the event of governance-related discussion or disagreement, users will be kindly redirected to the appropriate AVC communication channels for more in-depth debates. This approach helps safeguard the accessibility chat's primary goal as a learning space. That could be a solution, how we're seeing that it could be any AVC's chat or the governance chat. There is a governance chat, even Maker's chat, the main chat. Well, this is about the Discord part. So this is how we are trying to figure out this specific, the accessibility chat. So I don't know if anyone wants to add more about this. All of these are the proposals that we're putting in here are going to be well already on our Q4 proposals. It's a draft, of course, but we're going to be working and modifying over and over again until we have what we think it's the most appropriate way to address this issue. Okay, this is when it comes to the accessibility chat, and now about the what Cookies mentioned about the DAO front-end standards. So we have this. Okay. as I mentioned before, that this specific section is just has the and that's it. There's no more. So our model will be like this: to focusing on the a friendly standard, a friendly for front end. Of course, should be designed with the goal of making governance process the most accessible. Uh, this includes people that already know about Maker or not. And then clear and transparent information. The front ends must provide clear and transparent information about governance proposals, voting mechanism, and the potential impact of votes. Users should have access to all relevant details to make informed decisions. Now, here I would like to ask, like, what's your favorite governance front end? The one that so far it is, of course, is doesn't need to be Maker, it just in general. The one that you feel like, oh, everything is just so clear, so user friendly. I could go propose something here. The issue is that, of course, most of the people that are listening right now are, I don't want to say OGs, but they know a lot about governance. But the goal is to have an interface that not only applies to people that have expertise in governance, but the ones that want to be more involved, but don't know where to go. If anyone has a particular platform, please share it, the link. It will be really helpful. Now, we have added some features, and we would like to know if this is relevant or maybe it could be a lot of work and it's not going to pay off. So please, we write the comments about this. The first one is about the mobile responsiveness. This in order to so users can participate, can be involved in governance activities, and of course not just in smartphones on tablets, but many others. And then there is this one that is the accessibility features, which I would like to know your opinion about. And it's for people that has any disability. Let's say features like screen readers, keyboard navigation, alt text for images, and even more. We have like a list on this, but we want to know, like, what do you think if we should add? Again, this could be a lot of work, maybe, and in the results not gonna be what we expected. And then the voting process guidance. Remember, our target is people that are not they know a lot about governance. So the front end should provide step-by-step guidance on the voting process, ensuring that even beginners can easily navigate and participate in governance decisions. Do we need to consider hiring community managers to oversee these chats? That's a good question. Who would be the specific person to be in charge of developing this? This is a question that we're still asking to ourselves. Hiring someone else, again, it's that hiring process. For example, we talk about the hiring process for the advisory council, well, scope advisor, and it's a big issue. So yeah, we need to think about it. What do you think, Clucky, about this? We have real-time updates, of course. Everything has so many things happen at the same time. And but most important when it comes to governance proposals, well, of course, this easy governance front end should offer real-time updates and notification. And also, what are we going to be sharing in these front ends? Not documentation that are for people that have years in Maker, but maybe modify them and put it in level 1. Yeah, something like that. And then, of course, security measures. Security is paramount. Sub-DAOs must implement rigorous security measures to protect user data and funds. This includes using secure connections, encryption, and adhere to best security practices. Of course, here we can go on and on and to add more security measures. So far it is. So once we have the we're going to be sharing tomorrow our Q4 proposal. It's just a draft, but again, if you could add your comments into this, both what we are work in progress with Cookies proposal and Blue's proposals as well. That'll be really good, helpful for us. Oh, let's see, they have something in the chat. Cookie says it seems logical to allocate a budget and recruit individuals for this purpose. There. Moving on to the next part. Okay. As you might be aware, there was this post about the MakerDAO resolution not so long ago. I'm going to share the post here. Do you have any comments about this before we begin? On the slides, you are going to see that we find that it's more relevant to mention about the MakerDAO resolution. It was shared as well, the whole document. It's on the link of the comments. If I'm not mistaken, Levatelar asked for the link. They provided, so it's the whole MakerDAO resolution. You can read it. Well, these are like the key points, right? So the resolution mentions the incorporation of the Mars Foundation here on May 2nd, 2023. And this includes the goals, the objectives of the foundation. And this primary focus on supporting and growing decentralized finance and protocols and related solutions. Then the resolution approves the appointment of several services providers, including a professional director, legal counsel, and service providers. And so these providers will play essential roles in the operation of the foundation. Then the resolution discusses the incorporation of the Mars SPC Limited. This is the one. And this whole IP or intellectual property related to this part protocol front end and the Sakura Pro front end. Well, then the foundation is also authorized to deploy different front ends, again, including Spark Protocol, Sakura Protocol front ends, and these front ends interfaces should adhere to, of course, the specific guidelines this needs to follow, right? MIB 108. And then about the IP assignments, the intellectual property assignments and licensing, the resolution outlines different and various legal agreements and assignments that are related to IP, to intellectual property. These involve transfer of technology, business plans, proprietary information related to Spark Protocol, and more assets. There is a declaration of trust in its mention about Spark Protocol's intellectual property is held on trust for MKR holders by Mars SPC Limited. Then an IP licensing agreement is also mentioned. This allows the foundation to access and to use the intellectual property rights for deploying and for operating Sakura and Spark frontends. Then in this post, also there is a comment made by Ron, and I'm quoting this part. It says, having two entity model like this is decent for now, but in the near future, we will need a major legal review to come up with a future-proofed model that we can integrate more deeply into the Atlas that can serve the diverse needs of sub-DAOs and also ensure both sub-DAOs and Maker Core have leverage to keep it all secure and resilient over the long term. There is also, I think the post was True Name's comment about more communication, right? Clarification, accountability, to know who is behind this, all of this. There was they responded, so they gave us who they are and where they are based on, and they give more information. So this poll is going to be scheduled for next week, for Monday, November 6th. Is there any questions that are related to this? How do you see this Maker resolution? I see in the chat. The budget should be assigned then? Yes. Okay. So there are no comments into this particular part. Well, but something else that it's in the comments, it's that of course this in the near future will likely involve legal expert, people with expertise, right? To I mean professionals to assess the legal framework and structure of MakerDAO. And I recall this also during the calls, the Friday calls about, yeah, in the future there's going to be very necessary to hire legal experts. And then they mentioned about the future proofed. The new model should be designed to adapt and remain, of course, effective as Maker evolves and grows, right? It should be able to withstand potential changes in laws and regulations. And of course, all of this new model should be aligned with the Atlas, right? And then also, this should be flexible. This should be capable of meeting different requirements and needs of sub-DAOs. Yeah, those are the most relevant from the post and also from the document that I share. But yes, this new model should not only serve for only serve sub-DAOs, but also like ensure the long-term security and resilience of Maker Core. So yes, well, in summary, this well, what Rune mentioned, it's that about the need for a legal review to create a future-proofed that needs to be yeah, adaptable model that can meet different needs of DAOs. Yes. Well, the next part is, let's move to here. Well, this is also a quote about when they were asking, can you please write us more details? Who is behind this? This is the quote. All these you can find this in the thread, not in the main post, but there are questions. Yes. And so what I'm saying is here, this part, so they have some more things not shared. Marketing is their abilities to handle any fund requests. I think they're here. I can provide us more info about these. Not really any revenue or profits the application of parties or through the development store and solutions. This is not make sure. As whole the formal voting rights regarding information, the subsidiary of beneficiary. I'm going to share a link for the full document on upload post. And to our last topic will be also the post that made a few days ago, which is the comprehensive process for launch project preservation. Who from here could open documents that were shared? And see my screen.
Cristina, I think you are. Lo digo en español, te perdimos. We lost you. No, we can't hear you. Sorry.
What about now? Can you hear me?
No, it's like interrupted. That's right, broken voice.
Hi, what about now? I'm updating right then, like you hear.
The same, but if you want, you can talk again and we can test.
Yes, hi. Hello.
It's the
Hold
same
on.
problem, sorry. Maybe, are you using headphones or whatever?
No. What I'm gonna do is to structure my phone. Sorry about this. Hi, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, this is my phone. I don't know what's going on with my computer. The thing is that I won't be able to share, but I don't know what's going on. This is the first time I think this happening to me, but well, the last and was the last topic that we wanted to discuss about. It was the post about the deliverables for Launch Project and knowledge preservation. I thought it would be more in related to the Launch Project. It for me it wasn't. But still, is this like was this helpful that the deliverables were helpful to you? I could open them and like read them, of course, and were like templates. But I wanted to know more of that relationship. Like, what is it related to the launch project? And if anyone has comment on the deliverables or any all the topics that we talked today as well. I see people typing. Always with the memes. I see a lot of comments. So I'm going to read some of them. Yeah, I don't know if it's Discord, if it's me, but I'm glad that now you can hear me because I'm using my phone. Well, I see the comments here. True Name says we wrote a facilitator DAO section example about it last week. We believe the practice is misaligned and conflicts with the limited governance role specified for AVC, especially if budget specifications are included. Uh, yes, about Friday's tasks. There were some 80s already and facilitators mentioned like please approach these people if you need any help. So Blue was one of them. I think Lucky as well. True Name as well. So yeah, this is good. PB says, I like the debate between Clocky and True Name. Should AVC members specify and budget in their scope position documents or just share their the wish position and let them meet 102 C2 proposer to decide depending on which AVC position it follows? Let's listen to more AVC members. To my perspective, it should be very, very in a specific or all the budget. The more transparent and the more specific that we are, the better. Okay, so there it is. And again, the reminder of we have our proposals. We're going to be sharing in the both in the forum and Discord. So especially our 80s can give us feedback on what we have mentioned in here during the presentation. Also more updates, more modifications with your questions from the chats, your comments. It's going to be updated as well. And yes, please continue asking questions there. And if there's anything else that you would like to comment, maybe from Friday's tasks, also please put it in the chat if there is any concern. And if there is any relevant thing from last meeting, last Friday, that we haven't mentioned yet, or any other AVCs has mentioned, please also provide this on the chat. I think this would be all from today's call. And yes, that will be all for today. Thank you so much for joining us, and we see you in our next week, which is governance scope. We're already working on it, and yes, that will be all. Sorry for the something what happened with Discord. I hope this doesn't happen again. And yes, that will be all. Bye bye, everyone.